How do you do? Here I am on my first video. I'll take you around the house and show you some things first of all. And tomorrow my parents are flying in from Sweden, and I'm going to go to the airport and pick them up. But in the morning I'm going to record my grandfather telling some stories. So here we go. Alright, this is 29th Avenue, the street that my parents' house is on. See, we get a good shot. That's 7th Street down there. That's the Stubbs house, the Kuvalis. It's my parents' house. What's that A doing up in the corner? I gotta figure that out. Some landscaping they had done a few years ago. I was supposed to be maintaining all this. As you can see, there's some weeds. So it's a good chance to try out the zoom. Yes, these weeds are thriving everywhere around the place. Show you some more in the backyard. There. Here we are in the backyard. I'm supposed to be taking care of things here too this summer, but I had to be away. This is some where the weeds were that I dug out. Here's, so we can back up on this. Show you all the work I did. No, it's too big. Anyway, here's the garden. See, there's some tomatoes coming in. Some big ones there. Lettuce. Swiss chard. Boy, the Swiss chard was so good this year. These are some raspberries. Some of them are pretty good. Good raspberries. As you can see, this area is very overgrown with weeds too. Weeds everywhere. strawberries. Flowers. I head inside the house, take a look at a few things there. Wow. Here we are inside the house. This is the downstairs. Let's see here. Okay, this is the, whatever you want to call it, downstairs den, computer area. There's me in the mirror. And fade out feature. Printer. This is where my dad keeps his plants under a grow light during the winter. Now here's a couple paintings by Harvey Dunn. Now in here there's another real nice painting by Harvey Dunn, a print of a painting. You can tell by now that my dad is kind of into Harvey Dunn. Actually, we all really like his stuff. My dad particularly, because he grew up in the Dakotas. And this is a funeral out on the prairie. This happens to be my father's study, or was, when he used to write sermons here all the time, every week. And now it's a guest bedroom, and also contains the Prairie Home Companion archives, which is quite an elaborate collection, as you can see. So, now I'm going to take you, let's see, show you real quickly the rest of the basement here. It's a recreation room. A scene of a babbling brook. Looks like here is Pastor Stenborg and my great-grandma Stenborg. And one of the libraries in the house. And then, as we move along, here's the pool table again. And this way is the study, or the workshop. My dad's workshop, where I've been doing some work this summer, and as you can see, I haven't cleaned up all of my mess, but I had fun. Laundry room in here. Let's see. Now this is I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a shower. So how do you get back to these rooms? Oh, let's see here. Hang on. There, this is probably a much better way of showing you around. More like they have it on TV. I didn't have a cameraman, or I would have used him, but with the tripod, I think you won't get as seasick looking at these pictures. This is the bathroom that I built, the laundry room. Okay, back upstairs now. Dragging the tripod along. This is the kitchen. And I'm going to get rid of this tripod. There. Okay, now here's the kitchen. Moving right along. Wait a second, I want to try this kitchen with the other light filter. See what difference it makes. Okay, down the hall here are the bedrooms. There's me again. Let's see. Camera's having trouble focusing on that mirror projection. Anyway, here's the den where I do most of my television watching. Slippers. And here's a picture of my Grandpa Jackson that I drew, painted. Here's a Carl Larson, very famous picture. And there's the photograph that I did the painting from. There's a painting from Africa, and here's a print of a painting by David Shepard, who did that zebra painting that we looked at inside the back door. And a wedding picture. Alright, continuing down the hall here. This is where I'm staying. My clothes, my laundry. Some nice pictures on the dresser here. It's Paul and Peggy's wedding picture. There's one of me sitting at the kitchen table. Oh, why can't I get that in focus? Anyway, must have been too close. There's Marilyn, Leanne, high school picture, and Marilyn, and my Aunt Lydia. In the hall again. Here is a famous bathroom that I remodeled for my parents a couple of years ago. Nice pedestal sink, big. Nice threefold mirror. Nice low slung, modern style toilet. Swedish crystal blue knobs. In the den here now. I don't think I showed you these pictures. It's my mother and her brother Luther. And this must be my mother and her brother Luther and her brother Paul. Some really nice frames. Now here, I've got a picture of myself in my high school Skyline yearbook. Let's see here. Good old United Township High School. There I am. It says, above, Mark Jackson experiments for a final product in the graphic arts department. That's me right there. Okay. Now here's some other pictures. I was able to get a better shot of this high school picture of me. Now I'm going to move on to some family album stuff. Let's see. There we got here? It's my brother on a tractor with my grandpa Jackson. My brother, my brother with my Uncle Fred, my dad and my Uncle Fred out in a boat. Presumably this is all before I came along. There's Paul and Jane on the front porch. Looks like Paul, Jane, and me somewhere. And let's see, that's my brother, my grandma, and Jane. And there's Paul and Papa. Some pictures of me and my brother. There's me in a nice hat. It's my dad dressed up like a preacher. Me and my brother. Famous abuse. One of my happy kid roles. Ooh, Paul had some fancy outfits back then. Playing out of the sprinkler. His old thunder thighs mark. Now this is my cousins. Let's see. Looks like Dean and Joel and Beth and Paul and me. There's a cute picture with Paul and Beth. Next, here's a cute one of Paul and me and Jane, looks like. family photo. Let's see. One of me in one of my fancy new outfits. Another one of me. You enjoying these? God, half these are falling out. Oh yeah, here's John and me in one of our famous pajama shots. John and I used to get matching pajamas all the time, and would therefore get our pictures taken together. Good shot of Marilyn, Leanne, I mean. Another one of my birthdays. There's a good shot of what it was like in the winter in Michigan. Another picture of the little savages. Well, that's enough for now. To sign off, I think I ought to show you the living room here. Let's see. Back up on the zoom. There's the fireplace, the piano. It's my dad's plants. Which do pretty well under that grow light. And some more Harvey Dunn pictures. And this is Grandpa's clock. Running? Yeah, we're running. Okay. I started a little bit on this tape at home before I came out here, so I'm gonna make an introduction.
Fine.
This is this is my Uncle Paul and Papa. his dad and my grandfather, and we're in Lagrange, and Paul and his brother Luther, Papa's other son, just got back from a long bike trip. Why don't you say something about that?
Say something about the bike trip?
Yeah, now that, I mean, since it's
Okay.
just ended.
It was great, in a word. No, we were on the road for 4 weeks. We left Seattle. We stayed overnight with my nephew John, Luther's son, in Seattle on June 29th. We left there on Monday morning, June 30th, and just arrived here in Lagrange on this past Sunday night. So we covered about 2,400 miles in 4 weeks. We went through, we crossed the Cascades in Washington, crossed Idaho, in the panhandle of Idaho. Fortunately, we were able to ride on the shoulder of the interstate highways in Montana and North Dakota. Came down through Minnesota from Moorhead through Detroit Lakes, St. Cloud, Twin Cities, and then crossed over into Wisconsin at La Crosse. Worked our way down through the hills near New Glarus. Spent a day with members of Luther's Church at Lake Geneva. This was last Saturday, and arrived here safe and sound. Glad to have made it last Sunday night. How's that?
I'm so very happy to see you back. I thought of you, and I prayed to God to keep you, protect you, and now you're here again. And I'll say this, I can hardly realize, it's only because I see it that I know it's true. Otherwise, there are so many things, and we've been talking about that here today, and I just can't keep up with what's going on.
Well, you just take it one day at a time. And
Well, I'm learning something.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
learning something,
Yeah.
and seeing something that you're going through, something that I could never have dreamed of
Well-
when I was a youngster. And you're living within the same century, and it seems to me that it's way, way beyond. But here we are, and I'm very happy that you're here.
Well, we have dreams. Some of them are unreal and some are real. Luther and I, of course, have been talking about taking a trip like this for a number of years. A lot of that is kind of dreaming about it, and of course this summer that dream turned into a reality. So it's well, listen, Mark, you come and sit down here.
Now
And
you're putting it into pictures.
yeah, you take over, Mark.
Yeah, you
and,
take a look in the viewfinder for a while. By the way, this is a wide-angle telephoto. If you want to try some zooming in or something.
Well, I'll probably just.
Well, if you want to, because I'm just.
Okay.
It's my first experience. I'm just playing around, and you know how to swing the tripod.
Yeah, we might try a little. Okay, we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, what did you want? Was there anything in particular when I called you and that you thought you would like to speak of?
The things that you have gone through and the experience that you have is beyond my experience. As far as asking me to take the lead and doing this and that, I can't do that from what I already know. But when I see you be doing, and you're setting up a machinery of this kind and equipment, and I enjoy to be along. And this is something historical that I'm going through, seeing for the first time, something that you have already learned to handle. But to me it's new, and I enjoy it very much. But mostly I enjoy to have you present, and Luther, and all having been on a trip, coming back, and you coming in here on your trips, coming maybe 1,000 miles more or less. I can't realize that I'm living in a time when these things are happening.
Yeah.
So go ahead and talk, and I enjoy it.
I should haven't mentioned yet that Something else that's happening today is my parents are flying in from Sweden, and they left Stockholm at 12:30 in Stockholm.
Yes.
This afternoon. No, yeah, 12:30 this afternoon in Stockholm, and they'll be arriving at 2:10 in Chicago the same afternoon.
It's beyond understanding.
That account is partly because of a 9-hour time difference,
Well, that
or
I can-
7-hour time difference.
That I can see.
Yeah.
But that makes it more confusing unless the person is informed and knows just exactly where we are and where somebody else is.
Well, I always like to hear about where you came from and what it was like when you were a boy.
When I was a boy. When I was a boy, that is when my father came to this country in 1869 when he was 8 years old. Grandfather came. And they came by way of Chicago and Batavia, and then in about 2 years they were up in Minnesota and Vesa. That's about maybe 30 or 40 miles southeast from Minneapolis and St. Paul. And then grandfather went along with some others into northern Iowa, looking at some land, the possibility of locating there, and sure enough, grandfather bought a piece of land. I don't know how much it was. Maybe they had more than that later. But that was in northern Iowa, in Kossuth County. And that's where they lived. Then, in the early years, a congregation was organized, and my grandfather took the lead in that, and that congregation was organized in our home. I wasn't there yet. I don't remember what years, and that was before my time. But that was then in Kossuth County. We didn't have any town there. The county seat was down about 30 miles from the south. And later the railroads were coming in, one from the south, and then another one came in from the east. And when they came in from the south, then the address became Mancroft.
Mendgroft?
Bancroft.
Mangroft.
Ban. B-A-N.
Oh, Bancroft.
Croft.
Bancroft.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then when the town was located on the railroad that came in from the east, that the railroad came through there, I think it must have been about 1890. 1890, I think that's correct. And then they came through from the east, and about 2 miles south from us, they stopped and built a little village called Svea City. Svea means something Swedish.
Oh.
So the Swedes left the name of the town, the Svea City. English and Swedish. So that's where I came along.
And this was...
grew up there,
yeah.
and they proceeded and built a home. And I can remember my father's grandfather there. Well, he died when I was only 2 years old, but here's the peculiar thing, that I think of my grandfather on father's side and mother's side too. A little child. I was only 2 years old, and I can remember that my grandfather, my father's side, had George and me outside of the house when the carpenters were there looking over the building. How in the world can a little child that is 2 years old can remember an old man handling him? I think there is something way beyond us there. There is something that comes in the matter of touch. What did grandfather do when he touched me and held me? Something went across. I think it is something divine. And I can't separate it from the thought that comes when I think of that. What does God do to us in baptism. Something is being done to us. And my grandfather handled me when I was 2 years old, and that I can remember. And then my mother's father, they lived in Minnesota. They came in a little bit later, and I didn't get to see them so often, but I do remember we were there at their home visiting one time, and that was, well, my grandfather, my mother's father died when I was about 4 years old. And I can remember him. And I can remember both of my grandparents there. What is there that goes with it? The handling. Something that goes with it when they handle that little child and the child can remember. It's beyond me, I understand. But so was it. But I think it's something of the divine God gets a hold of us and does something.
You have a memory of your grandfather?
I remember seeing them, yes, I can remember seeing them. When I was only 2 years old, my father's father died. And when I was about 4 years old...
Gotcha. How are you?
Hi, good to see
Welcome back.
This is Mark Jackson of WNBC here.
you have an umbrella?
Say a few words. Like to speak into the mic and get a few impressions of your.
I think that's enough.
He was up at Papa's apartment this morning interviewing.
Oh, he was?
He's a real pro.
I said, what car do you think he takes?
Okay,
He
now
said, well, you take the old one. He's afraid to take the new one.
No, I took the new one.
Oh, did you? That'd be fun to have.
Here comes he's panning us here now.
Yeah.
Welcome, smile.
Right.
Celebrities,
right?
Yeah.
Boy, he's moving in here for the
Oh dear.
close-up.
Lee, maybe you should close this.
Coming at you, Ruth.
You have the sound on too?
Yeah.
Oh no.
He's got to get in there.
He's got the sound
That's
on
enough,
too.
Mark.
Everybody, maybe a little chorus.
You want to sing a song?
No, we just have to
Figure
explain
eight
happy
or,
birthday.
Just act normal.
All right.
Act
Good.
natural.
Can you sing happy birthday?
Yeah, sing,
No,
yeah.
that's not
No,
singing.
all right.
We're just telling,
Okay.
saying that we've been out to
Yeah.
the birthday, the belated birthday party for Papa.
Yes.
Oh,
Papa,
okay.
We wish you many more happy birthdays.
Ah.
We wish you many more happy birthdays.
So,
This is
thank
a late birthday party.
Thank you very, very much.
it's all going to be on TV.
Yeah.
That's enough, Mark.
That's
Okay.
enough.
I think before long, Mark's gonna.
What ASA do you have there for pictures?
Well, it's I don't know how you. I don't know what it is in the ASA, but it gets picks up in pretty low light, pretty dim light. I mean, I haven't had to.
Now, is this color you're recording in, or not, or black and white?
It's color.
It is color. Okay.
Oh, flower gosh, well.
And you know what's neat about these things is that if you just take a
Here, because when you get to see that, or you have seen it, remember that that's an old historic building. The tower has been changed now, but we were in that church the first Sunday we were out there. First Sunday night we were there at that church, about 7 miles from town. And then
Did you say you have that a couple of those pictures handy?
that was
They
in
are,
copies of the Young People magazine. You have it under a stack over there someplace.
I think I have.
From 1942. You showed it to me yesterday. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, there they are.
Oh, good.
The picture of the Longmont Church. It's not in that bunch. Not exactly there.
I think that's the stack.
I have more of it here.
We can pause for a second and
Okay.
make sure we find it.
I want to mention now that when you get, I think I have 2 or 3 copies, so you know what that church is. The church that was built there in the country in the early years, and where we attended it. It's about 7 miles west and a little, about 5 miles west and about 2 miles, 2 or 3 miles south.
Hold it, turn it around once and we'll zoom in on it.
That's Risby,
Okay,
named from the old Risby Church in
raise it
Sweden.
up just a little.
I'll hold it up for
Okay, okay, and then raise it so we see the picture of the church there. Good. All right, fine, that's good.
And we lived there. We came there to Longmont, and we moved out there from my mother's health. So she got an awful bad cold, and the doctor couldn't stop it. And he said to father and mother, "This bad cold is tending in the direction of TB, and I advise you to go to a better climate." So they moved. The father and mother and the 2 girls, Edith and Edna, they went to Colorado Springs last fall. Father came back in the early spring next year. Mother came back a month later. She was home just a few days, and she said, "I can't tolerate this climate." So inside of a month, Mother went back to Colorado Springs. Never came back to it. And we moved out there in the fall of that year. That's when we lived at Longmont. And then we lived at Longmont. That's where I was confirmed in 1904. George and I were confirmed. And I finished the grades in school. And that picture of the school there, but small pictures there in that box there. And the top some. If you see the picture there that we have, it's near the surface.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. There's one.
Okay.
Now,
I'd like to show that picture of the barn too. It's a.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
and can you take a
Is
picture
that
of these?
this barn?
Yeah.
Oh,
See,
well, yeah, you
I'll
can.
speak of that later.
Yeah.
Let's speak of the school first now.
Okay.
Well, this is the church that we first attended. And that's an old church, Risby. And that is a church that should be
Raise it just a little.
studied now and know what it means.
Now, focusing, is this automatic?
It should.
It should on?
Yeah, it should focus automatically.
Okay, it's a little blurred in here, but,
I've been having trouble with
well, okay, let's,
doing photographs like this. For some reason, it seems like the focusing is just a little bit on it.
I'll tell you what, take it back there. I had better luck there where you held it, and then I zoomed in on it.
Okay.
Actually, go back and sit down.
Oh, okay.
And now let me, wait a minute here. No, raise it up, actually. Raise it up to about where your shoulders are. Yeah, right there. Okay, now let me come in. Well, that's too low of a focus. Well, anyway, that's the best we can do, I guess.
Here's the other one.
Yeah, see, that's our family there with my Aunt Edith standing right behind me. Okay.
Yeah, that's the Banksons, all right.
You recognize us there?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we went to school there. George and I, Edith and Linus, Edith and Edna, we all finished the grades there. And I finished in 1906, and then I started high school at Longmont. And I remember the day that Father brought me there. Father was the kind of a man that wanted to know what's what and going on in business. And he didn't let us run around fooling away here and there. He brought me to the high school, and he went up with me to the superintendent's office. He wanted to know where we went to school, and he wanted to know, well, he knew the superintendent in a way, because he was the son of a man who had business down in town in machinery and so forth, and had had a brother or two with them. So Father was in a way already acquainted. But the fact that Father was interested in where we went to school and what we did, sure, he wanted to know. Well, I started school there and finished in about 1900. What was it? I finished high school in 1910. And then I went to university, Colorado University of Boulder. But before I go there, something happened in 1910. Another picture. Where's that other picture we had here?
This one?
That's, yes.
Oh.
Something here. There's the barn located on that place, on that farm where we lived when we came. That barn was there. But that white street.
Is that too low?
No, raise it but tilt it down so I don't get a reflection there. That's good. Very good.
But Father was interested in having a name for the farm, Meadowbrook. And I had, in high school, gotten pretty good grades and good success in mechanical drawing. And I volunteered to paint on a plank or a long white piece of board that would contain the name Meadowbrook Farm. And that's the painting that was put up on that farm. And I painted that in the summer of 1910 when I was through with high school. And they have that has been there, I suppose, all these years when other people have lived there.
Huh. And when was this picture taken?
That was taken now, sometime, that I don't know.
But it's
Sometime in recent years.
yeah.
But that's the way it looks now. But,
So that sign is probably still up there.
It's there, yeah, it's there.
Huh.
And let's see, what else was there? I started to say something else.
Something about the barn?
The barn, and there are some other little changes. The buildings are a little bit different. The fence is a little bit different. But that is the picture. And the white around the windows in the barn there. That is the entrance. But the painting of the sign, Meadowbrook Farm, is the one that I made in 1910. Now, well, in the fall of that year, when I went to when I finished in high school, and I went to Colorado University. Here, I think I should mention something else. If it's a matter of historical facts, I remember when I was a little fellow, I was about, I wasn't more than about 6 or 7 years old. Mother asked us one day, what are you going to do when you grow up, when you get big? Well, I'm going to be a farmer. Wouldn't it be nice if you could be a minister? No. I want to be a farmer. Why don't you want to be a minister? You have to talk too loud. We had a pastor then who was rather emphatic. And there was one time his hand or fist or whatever it was come down on the pulpit. I didn't like that. But then we got another pastor here in Lagrange, and he was there maybe about 5 years, whatever it was. Then he moved up to Canada. And I liked him very much. But going to school, When I was through with high school, Father took me in the car. We had an automobile then. He took me down to Boulder, the county seat, some 15, 20 miles away, and he brought me there, which was another instance when Father wanted to know what we were doing and where we were, and he helped us along. And some things that I simply took for granted when Father in his goodness, I didn't always think of his goodness, but it was a matter of fact and Father did it. But later, when I thought of these matters, then I could see Father's action according to his thoughts. And when Mother, then when I was about 6 or 7 years old, asked me if I didn't want to be a minister. No. Mother never said anything more about it. And I know from Father, when I remember of Father's actions and Mother's actions, it was never forgotten. Later, when I think of it, we lived through something that we didn't talk about. But they knew what their wishes were, and they saw me going to school, high school, Colorado University, 2 years, and then Mother passed away. And then one day, Father asked me if I want to go along to town. He never asked me that before. We got to go to town whenever we wanted to go along, sure. But Father had something to ask me at that time. Well, he said, when we're on the way to town now, summer's going, school's going to start this soon. You plan to start school again now? Yeah. And where do you plan to go? What are you planning now? I'm planning to go to college at that time I was attending and had attended Colorado University 2 years. And then I said, I'm planning to go to Bethany College, Lindisfarne. Well, after a few moments, then Father said, and what may be your thoughts after that? If I go to anything more after Bethany College, it'll be to Rock Island. I didn't need to say that this is that place where we had the seminary. He didn't ask any more questions. But with what was done and the questions that were asked and the procedure, I had understood very clearly that is in Mother's, Father's thoughts and in their prayers, hoping that one of their boys would become a minister. And so it went that way. And I've been in the various congregations after that. And I now remember there had been some questions that had been asked how I have felt being in the ministry so long. I had enjoyed it. And if it were possible at this age to go back in years and go through, I'd like to go through the experience and the joy of being in the ministry these years over again.
No regrets about that.
No regrets about that. And here not long ago, a week or a couple of weeks ago, whatever it is, the question that was asked was age. Someone spoke about the age, how old I was, and they were guessing, oh, maybe 70. And I said 97. I don't walk as spryly and I don't jog as nicely as I used to do, but I can still walk. And
Yeah.
Here I am.
You walk pretty well, too.
When I see the people in the place where I stay now, at the name of this
Plymouth Place.
Plymouth place, there are people working hard, they walk. And there was one lady that I'm thinking of coming into the dining room, had 2 canes, 4 prongs on each one. And then with the help of the canes and then walking, taking steps that were not more than about 6 inches long. Steps barely able to walk. But the point is this, they were not allowed to come to the meals there unless they could walk in on their own strength. That is what determined their permission to eat their meals there. And that lady that I am now thinking about hasn't been coming into the meals for most several months. If she's taken care of in the other rooms, I don't know. I suppose she is. Well, time is gone.
And you walk every day then?
The hallway out here is a convenient place to walk in from the north end to the south end. And the nice carpet on the floor. And there isn't so much walking out here so that it bothers other people because they know why I'm walking. And there are others who walk there too, just for the sake of exercise. But Luther stepped it out to find out how far is it around one trip. To go around from the north end to the south end. Twice around. That makes a quarter of a mile. And I try to do that exercise at least 4 times every day. 4 quarters make a mile.
Yeah.
And I like to do that, and then I walk up and down the steps. 4 stories from down the basement and on up. There are some of the people staying here who don't have the ability to do that. And I thank God for blessings that have come to me. And I discovered in time that exercise is necessary. And if I don't take exercise, it would not be long until I wouldn't be able to. But here I am.
Yeah. Still walking up and down the stairs.
And further, I want to say the word of thank you to you. Thank God for blessings that have come, and that you can be here, and Paul can be here now, and you come occasionally. One thing that I cannot yet, in my experience, see through, because it doesn't belong to my exercise and experience in the past. How you can talk about going on a trip of 1,000 or a couple of 1,000 miles for a day or two, and then you'll be back and you're here and all the things that you're doing. It's way beyond my time of experience when I was a younger.
Yeah.
So here you are. God bless you. God keep you. God keep us all in His way. To His glory and our welfare. My prayer every day. Well, that's a little bit of how I feel on this day.
Okay.
And this day, what did you say it is? July what? 30th?
I guess today's the 30th, isn't it? I kind of
Yeah, it's the
lost
30th.
track
This is
of,
the day my parents
Wednesday,
gave us.
right.
the 30th of July,
Yeah.
the year 1986. And I can remember when George and I started school. Father brought us to school in the spring term in the year 1895. Well,
1895.
1895. That's when I started the grade school.
That's 91 years ago.
Well, if that's what arithmetic says, who is it?
I guess that's right. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Papa. And
Well, thank you for the pictures and putting this on a kind of a tape. Can this be repeated now?
Yeah, or I'll
Yeah.
be anxious to see. I hope this comes out. Huh?
Oh, sure, it'll come
Okay.
out. I'm anxious to see it too.
I'll send it.
Thank you too for your story about the trip.
Oh, sure.
And we'll be doing some more of these. And I don't know how much film there is left, or tape rather, but maybe some more today when my folks get here and when Luther's here. Yeah. Okay, here we are back at home. We've just driven back from Lagrange, and trying to focus this on my face a little bit. We've just driven back, and I have to return this camera at 12 o'clock, and I thought I'd get my folks to speak a little bit about the trip to Sweden and maybe show a few things. And for a few minutes, and then I have to get back and return this camera to the place where I'm renting it from. Okay, let's see if I can get them in here. Do you want to talk a little bit? Just for a few minutes?
I'll open up. Do you want to tell a little bit about the trip, and then I'll come in with a package. That glass that we got the tax refund on. How'd that be? Just a quick end up. You just said that we just came home?
Yeah.
All right. Lee, I'll open it. You go in there and start talking about it. You do it. All right.
Hi.
Hi. Look down there to see what I look like. Huh?
Yeah, I might, I don't know if that's good.
Well, the first thing I'm gonna have to do is get a haircut tomorrow. I'm looking at myself in there, I can't tell which side to.
Which side to part.
I'm ready for my entrance.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome home. Välkommen hem.
Yes, you are very good.
That's a delicate turkey.
Du är mycket duktig att prata svenska. I just took this out of the suitcase, and we turned this in. Dad carried this out of Linshammer glasswork, and we couldn't open it because we wanted to get the 21% off tax if you take it out of the country within 7 days. I don't even remember what's here.
True.
Aye, aye.
Oh, I shouldn't show this because this is Christmas present.
Oh, well. Are any of mine?
Here's a vase with, I think this is for us, Lee. This is from Linshammer, and this is to a couple with a tree, by etched in glass. And maybe we'll just show what we gave to, what you bought for yourself,
Oh,
Lee.
this is for us too.
Oh yes, and then I wanted a glass handles for these, my glass bowls for a salad server.
Oh, those are nice.
And then let's not show the rest of those, except this is what Dad chose for himself. Show them your gift,
My, yes.
your Christmas.
Your gift to yourself.
At Christmas.
Wow.
It's a barometer
This is
with
a
glass.
barometer.
Wow.
And we've
Crystal.
got our barometer, but it's such a mess and wreck. And this I thought was kind of nice.
Yeah.
So